Hello and welcome back to Hudson Auto Films. Today we are continuing working on the 4x4 Supercar. If this is your first time tuning in, we're embarking on combining a 1994 Land Rover Discovery and a 2007 Aston Martin Vantage. The Discovery's body was completely rotten, but the chassis and engine were good. Meanwhile, the Aston had been completely harvested for parts, but it had a good body left. So we are taking the good from each car and making one. So far we have completely removed the Land Rover body, leaving us just with a driving chassis, and then somehow dragged the Aston body onto the Land Rover chassis. Then over the last couple of episodes I have been removing portions of the Aston to allow it to sit as low as possible on the Land Rover chassis. In the last episode I pulled it out into the world for the first time, and it was safe to say I was a little bit shocked. The ride height of the car was still a long way off what I wanted it to be, and also the slight discrepancy in the wheelbase between the two cars, which is actually only 2.5 inches, looks a lot worse. A lot of you suggested that I cut the chassis and lengthen it, even though I think that's a great idea. Unfortunately in the UK, if you do that, the car is basically dead. It has to go through IVA testing and all sorts of things, so we can't touch the chassis. There is a lot less room in the front for modification, so we are going to keep the front as it is. We're just going to centre it with the front wheel arch. We're then going to lower the back, and of course a lot of modification will have to happen to the rear end, but we can focus on that further down the line. Today's goal is just to get everything sitting a bit better. For long-term viewers, I'm joined by a familiar face.
Hello YouTube.
Isaac is back. For newer viewers, if you don't know Isaac, he is braking the car right now, but it's already pretty broken. For newer viewers, if I need to do anything particularly technical, I get Isaac in. Anyway, enough messing around. Let's centre the Land Rover wheel with the Aston body and probably do a lot more cutting. Okay, so in our endeavour to move the body back, we hit even more clearance issues. So we have now completely notched out this area, so the body will be able to go back. Previously there was material here, so first of all hitting this patch and then we're hitting the shocks, but now we have, well, a lot of clearance.
A lot of clearance.
Okay, so after putting the wings on, as you just saw, we now feel the body is a little bit too far back. Obviously we can easily slide it around, but we'd like to get the back end a little bit lower. So, Isaac, how are we going to do that?
Right. So we're going to lift the back up, and then we've got some little nubs on the chassis that we're going to chop off to lower it, aren't we? It's what we're currently sitting on.
These are the nubs in question, so we're just going to shave those down a little bit so we can have this sitting level with the front. Obviously the front outriggers are mounted lower, which is why we've got to do this. So shave those down a little bit and hopefully we'll be level. So after a tremendous amount of wiggling and moving it a little bit and trimming bits, we are overall pretty happy with where it sits. As you can see, it is a lot more centered over the front wheel arch. It might look a bit strange because obviously we're missing the front bumper currently, which completes the wheel arch. But if you kind of imagine it, it will be coming down at roughly the same place as it does here. So that is good. So we are basically where we need to be. Of course, we will be able to wiggle it more even once we've drilled holes. We're basically within 2 mil this way, which is good for now. So that is good. So right now we are going to drill the first holes to mount the body. Lots more mounting will happen, but this is just our initial go, so we have a reference point so the car can always return to roughly where it needs to sit. Nice. Before I put this bolt in, I just want to show you the tolerances we are working within right now. If you look just here, you can see the bolt is coming through, but we are just on the sill. There's obviously the floor here, there's the lip of the sill, which is just there, and then the main portion of the sill. On this side, we are about, I'd say, 0.5 mil into the sill itself. But if I take you over to the driver's side, you can see, I haven't tightened this up, you can see the thread is literally just about touching the sill, but it's still cut out of the lip. So as you can see, that reiterates what I said a minute ago. We're basically working within a 2 mil tolerance that way. So the body is pretty square with the chassis, but the Aston body is about 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters further to the passenger side than it is the driver's side, if that makes sense. We would like to get that better when it is properly mounted, but obviously it's quite hard to move it in such fine increments when we're literally kind of lifting and shifting. If we had a lift or something like that, it would be a lot easier. But yeah, every time you try and shift it across 1 millimeter, you end up going, 5 millimeters, and then you try and push it back and you've gone even further the other way than you were before. It's one of those situations. But we will be able to fine tune it when we mount things up properly. As you can see, where we were drilling, even though it was kind of just in the edge of the sill, it was primarily floor, which is definitely not a secure mounting point. But for now, that is great because those 2 holes with the bolts going through give us basically a point of reference. We know the body is within 2 mil and is basically square on the chassis, so it means when we take the body off again to do repair work on the chassis, we can put it back on with quite a lot of assurance that it is basically in the right place. And then once it's back on in its reference point, we can do the fine tuning and make proper brackets from the outriggers to the thick areas of the Aston sills and lots of other areas. But it's also important that we don't do anything too permanent at this stage, as even though we've got the body where we think it should be now, we are going off the current wheel setup and a lack of front bumper. Big wheels are coming in the next episode, and so is a front bumper. So that will really give us our final visual destination of how the body will sit on the chassis. Lower these days. Isaac has had to go home, so this is my new partner in crime, Ralph, who already wants to go home. The next thing I'm going to do in preparation for the arrival of the bumper is I'm going to trim down this Land Rover front bumper. Just a small little touch, but it's been annoying me, so I'm going to do that. If I take you round to this angle, if you just look at the Aston arch profile against the Land Rover wheels, this is why we need some massive wheels. It is actually ridiculous. I'd like to take 1 minute out and talk about today's sponsor, VFO. They've sent me their new ae.representation Pro 3-channel dash camera. It's pretty cool. So basically you're shooting 2K on the rear cam, 2K on the front cam, and you've got an interior camera shooting 1080p. So you've got 3 simultaneous channels recording. However, often I find with classic cars, you don't want modern technology in there all the time. So what's great about this is it has a simple plug and play. So when you hop in the car, you can just grab this out of your glove box. It easily mounts to your windscreen and away you go. I'll quickly show you what's inside, then we'll get back to work. Here is the main VFO device. As you can see, it's pretty small and compact, which is great. We've also got the camera at the back. And here is one of the 3 total cameras. And like I said, the brilliant thing about this is you can easily just hook it up quickly. As you can see, it comes with everything you need just to get going. But of course, if you want something more permanent, you can just add on the hard wiring kit. It gives you everything you need to make a clean installation. I also got the little Bluetooth control. This is great. It allows you to cycle through features very easily. It also allows you to mark important footage. So please do check out VFO. I've left a link down in the description which will take you right to their page. But if it wasn't for companies like them, these videos wouldn't be possible. So do check them out. So there we have it, another good session on the 4x4 Supercar. To summarise, the body is sitting roughly where it needs to be, with the Land Rover wheels sitting nice and central in the Aston arches. We got the rear end sitting a lot lower, which is great. It also means the rear portion of the chassis, which was sticking out a long way, is now sitting pretty tight to the rear bumper of the Aston. Temporary repair on this broken wing, which was unfortunately damaged during transport. I do actually think this V8 Vantage wing is off quite a special Aston due to the colour and the lipstick around the grille. I'll insert the name here because I looked it up. Then of course we put temporary bolts in to keep the car where it needs to be. And then finally, as you just saw, I chopped down the bumper, meaning finally we have a slightly less disrupted view of the front. All very important, however not terribly visually significant things this episode, so I apologise for that. But these are all very vital steps in this process. I'm very excited about the next episode, as due to the sponsorship help, I've been able to get a lot of parts which really will take this to the next level and can really help us dial this in and get this to the final stretch. As for the progress of the build, by the end of the next episode, hopefully we'll have the whole kind of visual element of the car roughly sorted. And then we can focus on the final mounting positions, we can sort the chassis out, start dealing with pedals, steering columns and that sort of thing. And hopefully very soon we'll have a car that drives. Then we can focus on lots of other fun stuff like bodywork, interiors, paint, all that sort of thing. Thank you to Isaac for helping me today. It really is nice having someone's help on this. Just also the camaraderie of having someone around. Often I'm just in the barn muttering to myself, which probably isn't very good for me. So having a pal around makes all the difference. And thank you to you guys for watching and all the kindness and support you always give me. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, all that sort of thing. It really does help me out. If you'd like to support the channel further, please do check out the Patreon, which is linked in the description. On the Patreon, I show a much more kind of real behind the scenes, day-to-day updates on the cars, parts I'm getting, work I'm doing, all that sort of thing. There's also a lot of polls and involvement in how the build should go. So it's really cool. So if you'd like to support me over there, please do check it out. But regardless, I'm just grateful you're here. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you then.